One.
Hello, hello, lovely, lovely humans, aliens, beings, whoever you might be watching this out there. Welcome to Somae Society's Space Weather. I am one of your hosts, Io Ash Masako, and I am the void in the darkness. And obviously, with all this Venus stuff we're going on, I am Venus right now, very solidly. It's been a wild ride these past few weeks. The feminine has been standing up unlike I have ever seen her stand up before, and it is so exciting. We also have a lot of really great space weather this week, so hang in there. I've got an announcement to make as well for you all. I am going to be gone for the next 2 weeks, and I am so grateful and so humbled and so blessed because one of my most favorite people in the world is going to be joining us, and she is going to be taking over my chair and co-hosting with Bonnie's Sunshine. And you may ask, who is this magical being? So, Kirsty Harris, she is an incredible shadow priestess. She's a ritual guide, and she helps people reconnect with themselves, specifically through shadow work, reflection prompts, ritual, spellcraft, and personal transformation. So she has worked in a background of trauma informed practices, and she's also worked for years in the spiritual sector as well. And she's a very dear friend of mine, dear sister, and I'm just so honored to have her joining us. So I'd like to bring her on for a brief moment, if y'all would allow, and you can meet her so you can get the vibe for next week.
Hello, hello
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
everyone. Oh, what an introduction. No pressure.
None whatsoever. It's not that I love you or anything, like deeply love you know.
And I deeply love you too. It's an absolute honor to be here and just to be able to share space weather because I absolutely love like coming to Somae Society every Tuesday. It's literally in my calendar. You know what I'm like, guys. So yeah, to be on the other side, like I absolutely like cannot wait. Obviously it's sad that you're not going to be here with us, EO. You'll be off having a well-deserved break. But yeah, I'm super excited.
I'm so happy to have you on, and like just, for Bonnie and I to be able to get you on and here is feels just so good in my system.
That's good. Feels good. I'm excited. Yeah.
How are you feeling, Bonnie?
Well, my building's fire alarm is going off right now, so I'm a little distracted. Can you hear it?
No, can't
Okay,
hear it
good.
from our side.
Good, good. Yeah, so that is currently distracting me. Let me tune in. I'm so excited for Kirsty to be joining us. And for those of you who haven't been to Space Weather, we are going to talk about astrology, gene keys, human design, embodiment, practices, intuition, guides, angels, as Io was saying, aliens. Everything comes through, and especially when you come on live, or whether you're watching the replay, we're picking up what your vibration and your energies. So I love having the three of us because we get different messages by being in each other's presence. And that is one of my superpowers that I love using.
I love it. Well, we're so excited to have you this week and, just dropping in now and also next week and the week after. I'm so excited to watch the replays and like be a participant in Somae. Like what a blessing that is. And thank you both for giving me that availability and opportunity to get to sit in witness mode and see. Yeah.
So
So
lush.
so excited for next week. All right. Amazing, you all. Kirsty, is there any final words that you have to say before we go into the space weather?
No, just that I feel like this week is going to be a very big and special week and just ride that Venus energy. Let go of any resistance and ride the Venus energy.
That is for freaking sure right now. We actually literally don't have a choice. And I'm going to be talking about that. You literally have no choice but to ride the Venus energy this week.
Let's go. Thanks for having me, guys.
Cool. So we didn't even talk who's starting. What day do you have? What day do I have?
I was
Like,
thinking that too. That's normally something we check in on. So, um, mine are June 19th and June 21st.
okay, so I've got the beginning of the week. So, do you want me to go ahead and jump on in since we were already
Yeah.
talking about it? We were already talking about like you have no choice but to ride the wave of Venus, guys, because this is a for real one. So, what's happening this week is we've got Venus again, Venus, beauty, self worth, values, this very like gushy, nourishing energy. Well, guess what, guys? She's going to be opposition to Pluto in retrograde. So when we talk about oppositions, oppositions are like, this is the mirror you're not allowed to look away from. Like it is in your freaking face and it is showing you all of the things. And when something's in opposition, especially when that's in opposition to Pluto, which is the dark underworld, like this is like Hades' realm. So essentially, this entire section of time, which is going to be June 15th. It started yesterday and it's going to be rolling through June 19th, with the biggest day being the 17th tomorrow. This is the descent into hell for Persephone. Like, this is it, guys. And if you haven't followed Persephone's story, it's a beautiful and incredible story. She's Demeter's daughter. She pretty much signals when we go into summer mode and when we go into winter mode, so that we're about to go into summer solstice while this Persephone journey is happening and while she's in hell, yet also coming out. It's very weird. And there's this paradoxical quality that's happening that feels really confusing. Like my own system feels really confusing. And I've been seeing a lot of like very weird things start showing up within the masculine and the feminine really showing up and making her choices. So Pluto's what's been hiding in the shadows. So when we're in Venus is 5 degrees in Leo, which means expressing love boldly. Like she's right now, she's just like, I love. There's a song that I've been listening to a lot recently, the Ballad of Love and Hate. I can't remember the artist, but that's like kind of what this feels like. This energy feels like that song. And we can put that in the links. I'll put that in the links when Bonnie puts our recap in Skool. So if you would like that song, if you'd like that information, go join our Skool and you can have that for free. Now, this is also being met Pluto retrograde 5 degrees in Aquarius, which is ruthless transformation from the depths. I kind of hazarded to put in the word ruthless because of the negative connotations with it. And also, it's true. And it's not in a negative way, but it is this very like not giving up energy of transformation. So, what's being asked of you right now is there's like this standoff between Venus and being in Leo, wanting to be fully seen and in its love, like in its full love state. And then Aquarius in Pluto goes, is this real? Is this real love? Is this deep? Is this true? And we're not just talking about in relationships, right? We're not just talking about in romantic relationships. I'm talking about your own internal systems that are happening right now. This is a time where all of the patterns around self love, around self worth, around values, around beauty standards, this is the time that those patterns become very visible right now. And it's whether you like it or not, they're just gonna be there. This mirror is gonna be very, very obvious. So, the one thing that I really, like, really, really want to nail down for this is that as this purge, as this excavation happens, as this mirroring, as this availability to see these patterns become very clear and very visible, there's so many gifts on the other side of this and through this. The big question to be asking yourself right now is, what am I afraid of losing? What am I afraid that will be lost? If I go and do the big, bright, bold, beautiful thing, what's stopping me from doing that? And most of the time, it's going to be fear, you guys. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. And if it is, what am I afraid of losing? And it could be, you could take the route of existential kink, great book, by the way, and be like, oh, like I'm, afraid that people are going to see me. Okay. Well, what am I afraid of losing? Oh, I'm afraid of losing, maybe my hermit side by people seeing me. Maybe I have this idea in my head that if I become visible, I don't also still get to be a hermit. Right. So start playing with kind of the paradox and the flip coins during this time. It's a very beautiful time to do this. So yeah, what do you got coming in, Bonnie? I can feel your energy going, hey, hey, hey.
I am pulling from the Yantra deck. I always like to hold them up like you do. And we've seen this one before. This one is the lotus petal. This one is really bringing in the feminine energy, the receiving, the softening. And what I really love that you were saying is love. And look at the circle is made of hearts. What we did last time with this is we mentally traced the hearts and the circle to connect with this card. And then the other one that fell out was true, which you were seeing. This one says it is the easiest and most inspiring one to live by.
So it's interesting because right when you were pulling that up, I got very loudly called to pull a deck card as well. This is only half the box, but it's such a cool box. So this is the Healing Waters Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell that is done so beautifully. I mean, look at how it's like so satisfying. God, can we have like some ASMR sounds with that? And what's coming up is this: making waves. Right? So the bottom of the card says momentum is building. It's your time, achievement. And I can't think of a better card for Venus in Leo right now. And like, especially with what we have going on with Pluto. Like, how lucky are we? So if we bring in that like yantra card of like that self-love and that heart, right? And then we can also like place it in to this incredibly positive and incredibly encouraging card. Essentially what it's saying is like your commitment to yourself, what you guys are doing right now is paying off. Like you may be going through some of these shadow aspects and you may be going on the trip to hell and you may be following Persephone through her journey, and also it's paying off. Like it is definitely paying off. What you are doing is taking you to the next evolution of you is what's coming through.
It's so interesting because a lot of what you're saying are also in the human design gate that we're covering today.
It's really it's amazing how holistically this comes about. Like I was just getting that in my head of like what's the holistic theme for this entire week, and it's be bold, stand boldly is what's coming through, and that just keeps coming through right now. And we're going to be talking about this in a few moments with Chiron entering Taurus. Like that's our next big transit that's coming up. Do you have anything else on the Venus opposition Pluto retrograde? No? Okay.
That was it.
Cool. Gosh, thanks so much, my love. Okay, so let's pull into this Chiron. Ooh, Chiron. Ooh, spooky Chiron, the wounded healer. There we go. I'm like, that like did my face freeze? Am I still frozen? But you guys can hear me?
Yes. Gosh. Here, I'll come back on slowly. Oh maybe we can break you. Turn your camera off and then on again.
Nope,
no, you're black now.
Yeah, no, everything's freezing right now. Everything's frozen.
Well, maybe the message is I'm supposed to read gate 15 first.
We'll just wait a few seconds until, something wants to come through. Yeah.
There you are. Oh.
I can't move anything right now. Like my window, everything is frozen. My computer just made a weird noise.
Do you want me to do gate 15 while you work on that?
Yeah, just know that I'm not going to be muted. Oh wait,
I can mute you.
referenced memory could not be written. Something terminated some sort of program. Oh yeah, Mercury
There you
retrograde
go.
shadow period is starting. Yeah,
You're back.
yeah. There we go. Okay. Hi. I can't see you. You're
Oh,
black. My whole computer is black. Like I
you're,
can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're moving. We can see
Okay.
everything now.
I can see me and I can see me talking. So yeah, let's go into this wounded healer, y'all. I can't do any of the pins and stuff like that. So if you could do that, Bonnie, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mercury Gatorade's already starting, guys. So let's talk about Chiron. So if you guys aren't familiar with Chiron, Chiron is one of my most favorite aspects. A beautiful story about a centaur gets hit with this poisoned arrow, and he doesn't ever remove the arrow. He lives with like the arrow and the poison coursing through his system, and he uses it as fire and uses it as a reminder to teach others about healing. So it's a really, really beautiful aspect, and everybody's got Chiron in their charts. And I highly recommend, if you are not familiar with where Chiron is in your chart, it's the little key guy. Go find out where Chiron sits in your chart. Because it can give you a lot of information. Essentially, like in a more analytical sense, this is where a lot of your wounds can be transmuted into healing energy for others. So when we were talking about who was taking what aspects, I was like, I really want to do Chiron and Taurus. I don't know why. Like I really want to. And then I was like, oh shit, it's because my Chiron is in Taurus. So this aspect is going to be hitting us for 8 years. This is an 8 year aspect. So when we think about Chiron and we think about the wounded healer and what it can heal inside of us to help others and to share with our community, we think about Taurus, which is all about embodiment, right? It's all about, do I feel safe in my body? Do I feel safe in my body? And what I find beautiful is this has been a practice of mine for years and years and years and years and years. Hence, because my Chiron is in my wounded healer. And I'm going to give you some really cool stuff and information within this little section for that. This, previous to this, we have been, let me double check this. Hold on one second. Where was it? Safe. We were, I believe, shoot. I don't know what happened to my note. I don't know if this is right or not, but I'm going to say it because it feels right. Leo. We were in Leo with Chiron. If I'm correct on that, I'll have to double check it. Bonnie, if you're able to check that, I'd appreciate it.
It
And
was Aries.
essentially, what, oh, is Aries. Thank you. I knew
Yeah.
it was a freaking fire one. So when we were in Aries, right? And Chiron was in Aries, it was literally all about healing our identity. Who am I? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to create myself to be? Who is this person? And it was all based really strongly around authenticity, right? So oh, Bonnie said because her Chiron was in Aries. So it was her time. Now it's my time. Fun. So that was happening over the past 8 years very strongly. Like, who am I? Who do I be? Now that most of us know who we are, if you don't know who you are, come hang out with us in Skool. You'll find out real quick. I can promise you that. But now we're sitting and moving into the space of embodiment. Who am I? Who did I want to be during that period? And who do I want to embody now? And how do I example that? How do I become that? And when I talk about embodiment, I feel like we talked about embodiment a whole bunch on our podcast. And I don't know if I've ever defined it in my words of what embodiment is. And I feel like this is a perfect time. So I'm going to give you an example. I do a practice and I also like remind people of a practice called mindful somatics. And there's a whole thing that we do with it. But essentially, when I started this practice, I was doing it pretty much once a week. And it wasn't a fully embodied practice. It was something that I was just doing, right? It was just like if you paint and you just like paint every once in a while, right? It's not like an embodied practice for me. It was something I did every once in a while. I feel like I just keep repeating myself on here right now, which is interesting. So essentially, embodiment to me embodiment to me is stopping and being in a space inside of my body. That's one aspect of it. So right now I'm dropping into my body. I'm dropping out of my head and I'm dropping into my body. Right. So my words are now kind of just coming out of my body versus my head where they have been coming out of. And I sit in my body. So that's a part of embodiment. But the next aspect of embodiment that I want to bring up is when you bring a practice so inside of yourself that it turns from something that you just do and are practicing into a habit or even just into a natural rhythm that it almost becomes instinct that you do it. And like when I was talking about my somatics practice, it started off with me having to be like, okay, where in my body am I feeling this thing? What is going on with this thing? All these things, like, how do I feel it? And like, what does it show up for in like my body? Now I can just sit and I can feel everything immediately. That would be my embodied practice, if that makes any sense. Bonnie, do you want to talk a little bit on this as well, since you are embodiment?
That's funny. Do I want to talk about it? Um, yeah, I'm feeling the sense of how you make bread, like you're folding the newness of yourself into your body and it becomes a part of you. So there's like the idea of things outside of me, things inside of me, and the balance between those two, um, which feels like that balance card from last week. But the card that came in for this is death,
I can't see
right?
any cards. Like literally all I have is a black screen. So
It's a skull with butterflies and fungi growing out of it. And this is an ether card. The message for us here is if you find yourself in a period of death, try to incorporate some new things you can enjoy to create balance. There's that balance again.
interesting.
So it's not the sweeping of your desk and throwing everything off or throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's not control deleting your whole entire being or the way you do things. It's changing one thing or making space, but then filling it with something new and that fills your cup.
I'm cracking up because I haven't used that phrase in years, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and I literally just used it like 2 days ago. I was
I was
talking
like, I don't know why this is coming in.
I was talking to a friend of mine about like relationships and about like sexual addiction because I went through a very strong sexual addiction, and I'm still kind of playing with like love addiction as well. And it was really interesting. I was like, well, why would you throw the baby out with the bathwater? Like, why would you just throw it all away versus like, because I was talking about me dating, and I was like, I don't want to go back into like that celibacy, which was like just clearing the desk. I want to keep learning through every new experience and interaction I have. And that's kind of like speaking to this right now to me. Yeah, it's interesting.
So it's interesting you can't see the cards. The one that fell out is a green border and it's reversed. It's the number 8, emotional withdrawal. So the fact that it's reversed is like changing and flipping the script on this cycle
Mhm.
of victimhood, is what I'm getting. But the image is somebody sitting in front of the ocean
Mhm.
and like praying and giving to the water.
That's beautiful. Yeah, water's coming in really hard right now, and quite a bit, and I'm loving it. I've got a few more things on this Chiron and Taurus, if that I'm going to
Yeah.
start bringing those in. So, to give you guys an idea, the last time that Chiron was in Taurus was back from 1976 to 1983. And if we think of that time, I mean, we're talking about like, the Miss movement, women really standing up for their own rights, standing up for themselves, showing up, entering the workforce. There was a whole bunch of stuff around body positivity and not shaming the body. And then we also during that time had the AIDS crisis. So like there's like the two sides of the coin. We saw an entire group of people almost get completely and utterly freaking wiped out, um, because of hate and bigotry, in my opinion. Um, and a community really had to pull together and support themselves. And I think that's a really important aspect to like talk about here. You know, uh, people were getting just dying in droves because inhabiting flesh in a world that just was not willing to honor it. And I can feel my fire and I can feel my rage and I can feel my anger coming in, because this is something that's very close to my heart. Um, and like friends and family that went through that time, and the amount of loss that people have seen and communities have gone through. Yeah. So I just want to bring some presence to that is like, and I'm kind of seeing it also still happen now, but now I'm seeing it with my trans family. And that really pisses me the F off, to be honest. Um, People inhabiting their bodies in whatever way that they choose to is their own choice. So back the heck off, just back the fuck off on it. And how can we switch that, right? Like how can we flip that to the body positivity? And that's, in my opinion, is only through acceptance. So we're going through another period of this, and my hope is that we learn our lesson from last time, and we don't kill a bunch of people that don't deserve and don't need to be killed. um so yeah. And if anything that I'm saying is triggering you, feel free, come in Skool, come talk to me about it. Because I'd rather come, us have a conversation with acceptance than and compassion. And I will tell you, I will do everything in my power to change your mind if you have altering views to this. I will do everything in my power because it's that important. So I want to bring that in, and I'm going to have us all take a breath if you're willing to. I'm going to take a breath. You don't have to take a breath because you have autonomy. And also, if you'd like to, I'd love to invite you to take a breath with me. So this right here, you guys, this is that Chiron. This is that wounded healer. This is especially in Taurus, right? Where it is all about the body. We want to know ourselves at a deeper level. Can you inhabit your worth and not just understand it intellectually? That's what got channeled through when I was writing this. And I'm going to say that again. We know ourselves at a deeper level. And can you inhabit your worth and not just understand it intellectually? How can you feel your worth inside of your own body? No matter what, whatever body that you came into, whatever body that you are choosing here and now, can you feel your own worth inside your body? I can see your worth, but you've got to be able to feel it. And that's what's really important for this time right now, you guys. Feel your own worth. It's where the healing is through. The way through is down with this. I've got one last little thing, Bonnie, where I think we're going to go over today. I love you. Thank you. Um, the way through is down into the body, into 3D and into sensation. And there are so many beautiful practices that can help you with that. If you're interested in them, again, come hang out in Skool, ask, we will provide them. It's something that Bonnie and I both work really, really strongly with. So the very last thing that I want to share with you is something that rolled across my desk as a reminder. And I had read about this years and years and years ago, and I had completely forgotten about it until just a couple of days ago. And there is a concept called the golden shadow. And if you are not familiar with the golden shadow, I would love for you to go look it up. It's part of Jung's framework. So, the archetypes, and they brought in, he brought in the shadow aspects, but a big one that people often miss is the golden shadow. And what the golden shadow is the pieces and parts of yourself that you have been hiding that are actually positive aspects of yourself. So again, this is the pieces and parts of yourself that you have been hiding that are actually things that you think are positive or feel are positive. A good way to spot these is if you are watching the world and all of a sudden you feel envious of somebody. And you're like, man, I really wish I had their life. Well, start looking at their life, start looking at what they're doing that you would want to be doing. For me, I would go and see people dance and see people dance freely and beautifully. And I used to be like, man, I don't know how people can do that. I could never do that. I would never be able to do that. And I watched these people dance. And then I started to dance. I started going to ecstatic dance. I started having the beautiful life. And I realized, I actually realized in an ayahuasca ceremony how that part of my golden shadow had been pushed down and conditioned out. So when you hear your head say, I could never, I want you to say in response, I am enough. And that scares me. And that's okay. And to sit with that in your body. I am enough and it scares me. And it's okay to be scared. And then the next step is maybe you just go out and try. Maybe you take one small step to go try the thing that you are envious of others, that you say that I could never do
Ta-da. Needed a ta-da, apparently. Do you feel complete?
Yeah, I think yeah. That was a lot coming through, guys. How is everybody out there doing? Let me know in the comments when you hit this part of the podcast. Let me know. I want you to go and post in the comments how you're doing right at this moment. Let me know how you're doing. I'll be watching the comments for the next few days.
The next one aspect we're going to talk about is human design gate 15. And I have this gate. What are you doing? I have this gate. So when we talk about the human design, we talk about the quantum design from Dr. Karen Curry Parker. We're bringing in different aspects. And what this is whether you have this in your design or not, you have access to it during this time. So it's June 19th to the 25th. It is in the G Center. And what I was finding very interesting is that this is a gate of love. This is about compassion, specifically for humanity. And the channel activates fully only when the foundation underneath, meaning self-love, is in good repair. We were talking about this a couple days ago. I have gate 15, but Kirsty, who's going to be co-hosting with me next week, has gate 5. So between the two of us, we complete the channel. So having you all here live or in the recording is so important to us, because we feel like we can touch and kinesthetic. So I say touch in that I'm feeling like the energetics of those of you here watching live or on the recording. So because this is in the G center, this is all about a gate of love. And it's specifically love directed at the self. So in the shadow, it's martyrdom, it's the overgiving, it's beating yourself up. It is the not good enough. I'm not doing this good enough. I don't deserve this thing. And this is really like tagging on to what Io was talking about. And the gift is your unique signature, your unique rhythm of your offerings, and that self truth and trust of living through the storm like a hurricane that clears out the junk so that only you is vibrating at your own unique frequency, strong enough that you aren't affected and dampened by what you see in others, that envy that you was talking about. So this is a wheel and it's turning. Do you deny the self and the truth? And the two questions for this one is, whose rhythm are you living? And are you extending the same compassion to the self that you do for others? Anything else? And this is coming in at a time where the lunar is in action, the moon is in action with the first quarter moon of taking that step towards growth and action out of the new moon. Yeah. Do you have something coming in?
Yeah, I've got I now can I now can control it, even though the rest of my computer's black. So this deck, I've had this deck since I was about 8 years old or so. It was my very, very first Oracle deck that my mom purchased me because, you know, that kind of family. So this is Tatiana's fortune cards. And what came in so strongly is this right here. This is the flowers, you guys. So essentially, this card is essentially just telling you you are being looked after. So I'm going to bring in the idea of pronoia again because we've had kind of a heavy session here. And the thing to keep running back to over and over and over and over and over and over and over again is that I am divinely held by the universe, and trusting that no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what's happening in your world, is just keep trusting. The overall meaning of this card is like full happiness, but it comes from a place of individuality. So it's an improvement after a long period of unhappiness or illness. So, yeah, Bonnie's saying, trusting I'm seeing a hammock being held by the universe. It's a very, very encouraging card. So, again, I feel like the cards have just been really sweet and loving, and just a reminder that even through a lot of the heaviness that some of us may be transitioning, or what you may be transitioning, that it is all for the highest good. Always.
Ta-da. I don't know why I'm doing to those.
Because it's such heavy energy. So you're like, ta-da!
Maybe.
I'm like, okay, we shake off like how freaking like dense. Like we're getting some 3D dense, but it makes sense with the, you know, with what we're going through with all the embodiment stuff. But we've got one more aspect in hardly any time. So
No, it's perfect.
I love you.
I'll do it. The next aspect is Sun enters Cancer. And for this one, it is also the summer solstice. So my birthday is right after the winter solstice. And this one feels like that tipping point. And it's interesting that in the last item, the wheel came in. And the wheel is also in this aspect because we're tilting the hinge between light and dark, between planting and growing. And this is where more becomes enough. The shadow of this is clinging to the climb. Like, I have to do the thing in this way. No. The gift is that slow down. The slow down to finally sit at your own table, the one that you have built, and to allow yourself to taste what's in your cup. And these are all happening at the same time. So this is from June 19th to the 23rd, but the peak is the 21st. And it's receiving what you have built. Is there more to that? No. Okay. So the practice for this one is sunbathing in the same way that you would do forest bathing. Go and stand, face the sun. This is like a 2 to 10 minute thing, and allow the sun to penetrate your system. Okay, so this is where Cancer is coming in. So Cancer is soft and squishy. It is water, and it's coming back through the cup of drinking your own. I'm seeing like nutrients versus poison. So when you're drinking from your own cup, are you filling it back up with the juiciness, or are you filling it back up and giving it to yourself the poison of that not good enough? And what was the other thing coming through? Yeah, it's so interesting that they're all talking about this self-love. Oh, balancing like the light and the dark as well of the hinge of this time of the the calendar year. Did you have something coming through for this one?
No, just being a small child and thinking like, because you were talking about drinking in your own nutrients, and I was like, is she telling people to drink their urine? What is happening here? Like, what is
Okay,
going
I was
on?
wondering if that, I was just channeling that. So, what it is telling me is the way that we talk about ourselves. When we say something bad about others or we say something bad about ourselves, we're actually ingesting that.
Blech.
And yeah, so it is really about your gifts, your magic, and drinking from that.
So,
Building yourself up, building other people up, coming from that place of I'm fucking amazing and I have compassion for myself and I am motherfucking juicy.
so can I just like, essentially, don't drink your own waste is what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
yeah, yeah, or just don't fucking create it. Like, well, I mean, you can create it. I like being a spicy fucking gremlin monster sometimes. And also, like, don't be a dick. Like, try not to if you can. It'd be great. It's what's kind of
Yes.
coming through. It's like fucking kindness and compassion will go so, so, so much further than just about anything else in this world. Like, empathy. Like, but that's the time that we're in, is like this time of like empathy and like sitting in somebody else's shoes. It's like, how are you feeling right now? Is also like looking up, like there's two different types of empathy. There's like a logical empathy, like, oh, I can put myself in their situation from a logical place. And then there's the body type of empathy, which is like I feel what I can choose to feel what they're feeling, you know. And as somebody that used to identify as an empath, which I no longer do anymore, because I used to be a crippling empath that I would feel other people's feelings. and take them on as my own. And now I'm more of the like, oh, I can choose to, like, I can talk to Bonnie and be like, hey, how are you feeling? And then choose to feel it if I wish to. Um, so yeah, I don't know why that came in. Just needed to. There's so much information right now that's just pouring through. So
Yeah, I have one more thing to add to that. So if you are someone that feels other people and feels other people's bodies, one of the tricks is to not put it all the way into your body when you feel someone else. Keep it outside. Or if you do, it is a very light touch, like, oop, I feel them, but then allow their energy to be outside of you. Because what that can do is leave a residue behind of other people's stuff.
yeah, I also, when I'm doing that kind of work, I'll notice, like, I'll be like, oh, that's theirs. That is theirs. I am mine, and that's a practice that we use often is like, you know, your energy is yours, my energy is mine, your energy is yours, my energy is mine, your energy is yours, my energy is mine. And once I've embodied that, now it's like I don't even have to say that in my head. I can just be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I can definitely see that that's yours. And I can feel it if I want to, but I don't have to take it inside of me. So I love that you brought up that distinction, Bonnie. Thank you. It's a good one. Fucking weird episode this week. I'm gonna call that out. This has felt like the weirdest, most discombobulated episode that we have ever magically done together, in my opinion.
That's interesting. I feel loopy, and I meant to say that at the start. We said it before we came on, but if you're feeling that from us, 100% truth.
Yeah, I'm recognizing like what Bonnie like the loopiness in Bonnie, and it's affecting me. And also I was like 2 steps out the door because I'm leaving for vacation. So I just want to call that awareness into the space that if you made it this far, high five, by the way, for making it this far, because this has been a very interesting one. And I feel like I don't even remember at all what we talked about on the episode. It's like it's already been done and it's already gone. And
I love it.
yeah. So thank you all so much for joining Bonnie and I for Somae Society's Space Weather. And again, like, comment below, tell your friends about us, like, comment, subscribe, press little buttons of things and stuff. Uh, yeah, because this is what it is. And let us know if you have any suggestions, man. I'm totally up for like suggestions. If you're like, you know what, that like EO lady talks too damn much, just shut the heck up. Like, let me know. Or if you're like, oh, that EO lady doesn't talk enough. I don't think anybody's going to say that, but if you
When you said that, I thought you were going to say for classes, or like, what do you want us to talk about? Or is there something we've said you want us to expand on? So the fact that you went there, that cracked me up.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we're open to whatever suggestions. That suggestion box is always open and available. So please, 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 please let us know. This is how we grow and how we become better is through you guys being our reflections and our own mirrors, like we talked about earlier this week.
And come and join the conversation in Skool. We'd love to have you and feel your contributions to this free, lovely community.
Yeah, you can
Weird
ask
community.
anything. You can ask anything in there. Like, you can literally, like, I am opening that space. You can literally ask anything in there. And I can promise you that it's going to be met, at least by me. I can only promise for myself, but at least by me, with compassion and understanding. Like, no question is off the table in there. None, not a single one. It could be the weirdest fucking thing you've ever said out loud. And I please bring those questions because those are my favorite. If you
And
ask
just
me,
a well,
Eo, how do you hide a dead body? I'll be like, okay, give me a few moments.
I know the answer to that one.
See?
Yeah. And just a reminder that we embrace all aspects of you and your weirdness, because we embrace all aspects of our uniqueness and weirdness. So bring it.
Yeah.
Join the conversation. And
hang
we
out.
are up to 58 members.
That's really exciting. That feels really
Yeah.
big in my system when we look at, so we're looking at 13. Oh, 4. We're back at home. Where's our resident numerologist? We're back at home. Awesome. All right. We ready to close this thing out for the day? Thank you all
Yeah.
for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I so look forward to not seeing you next week. But I'm sure Kirsty and Bonnie would be really appreciative to have you guys join us next week.
Yeah.